Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of B.S.ing Sports here on the B.S.ing Network, where we do a little BS and we talk a whole lot of sports. With me, as always, on my Saturday baseball shows, or last week, Monday, is Ryan.
Actually, I mean, is it really even last week? It was only 5 days ago.
That's a good point. Yeah, so very recently, yes.
Yeah, and as you can see, I don't have 2 wins anymore.
It is correct. Ryan won on Monday.
But yeah, we've got a good show ahead of us today. So posted the itinerary. We're going to start off with the Immaculate Grid as per usual. We will re-explain the rules, of course, for those of you that have not tuned in before, followed by Pickle, a standings update, and then we're going to get into a couple different players. Luis Arraez's Hall of Fame chances. I know it's still very early in his career, but it's a very intriguing topic that we could talk about. And then Paul Skenes. We got to talk about Paul Skenes because Paul Skenes is the next hottest thing in the major leagues right now. So, Bill, with you being the loser, you got to kick off the Immaculate Grid.
I do. Yeah. So again, for those of you who don't know how the Immaculate Grid works, you got 9 blocks. You get 9 guesses to try and fill out the entire grid. Across the top this week, we have played left field minimum 1 game, played center field minimum 1 game, played right field minimum 1 game. And then down the left side, you've got 40 home runs in a season, only played for 1 team, and 3,000 career hits batting. It's pretty self-explanatory. You try and fill the square that the player matches both the categories the square crosses over on. So we will get started. I'm going to go center bottom. I'm going to go Tris Speaker. That will be played center field and 3,000 career hits. 5% on Tris Speaker. That is not a great percentage.
Very, very good start. That is a player I usually pick. That is a player I planned on picking. Played left field, 40 home run season. You know what? I'm going to put this individual in right field because I feel like he's more known for playing left field. Nelson Cruz at 1%.
That's a good one. Let's see. I'm going to go Craig Biggio, left field, 3,000 career hits for 2%.
That's another name I was going to pull. Very, very, very nice.
I feel like a lot of the names on this square or this grid we were going to pull from each other.
Yeah.
I will admit Nelson Cruz was not on my list, though.
He wasn't on mine either until about 10 seconds ago when I picked him. Let's see. Played center field, only 1 team. Pete Crow Armstrong for 3%. Currently the center fielder for the Chicago Cubs, drafted by the New York Mets, was traded before he ever made the major leagues with them.
Same square. I'm going to go Ryan Braun. 0.1% on Ryan Braun.
That's nice because Ryan Braun not remembered for playing center field very much. Get rid of these ads. See, 40 home run season, left field. I mean, there's quite a few names that could fit that out. Left field, only 1 team. Played right field, only 1 team. I am going to go Brandon Nimmo for 2%. Have only played left field and 1 team.
I'm going to go – most people remember him in left, so I'm going to go Mickey Mantle, 1 team, right field, for 4%. Okay, I guess more people remember than that. I
think he primarily played center and right, if I'm not mistaken.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so – all right, not bad. All pretty good starts so far. Played left field, 3,000 career hits. Played right field, 3,000 career hits. Willie Mays in right field for 3%. Obviously, much more known for being a center fielder.
I'm gonna fill out the same square, and I'm gonna go with Tony Gwynn.
10%.
10% on that block. That was a mistake.
Be a huge backbreaker there. Only 1 team played right field. Let's see, 3,000 career hits. Played left field. I'm going to put Ty Cobb in that square for 4%.
Top right, played right field, 40 home run season, Albert Bell.
That'll be a good pull.
0.7.
Be a very good pull for sure. Andrew Jones, 40 home runs, left field for 0.3%.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good pull. 40 home run season, played left field, Dick Allen, formerly of the Philadelphia Phillies. The late, great Dick Allen, by the way. 0.3%.
There we go. There we go. Okay. Matching percentages. So that square is a wash.
Yeah, but that Tony Gwynn one's going to screw me. I need you to miss or get a high percentage.
Potentially. 3,000 career hits, played center field. Let's see. Got a couple names there. I am going to go. This is going to be a mistake. Roberto Clemente. Oh, okay, 3%. I was nervous. I know he's more of a right fielder, but that still made me a little nervous. So I know you got to be feeling it now, Bill.
I am feeling it now.
I mean, heck, at this point, even the 5% on Tris Speaker isn't doing you any favors.
Hammer and Hank, center field, 40 home runs for 1%.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Coming down to the wire, ladies and gentlemen. Do I have the clutch gene to close this out? Only one team played right field. 40 home runs is played center field. I don't think Edmonds did it.
I don't think Edmonds had a 40 home run season.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think he had a 40 home run season. Let's see. Who was just dropping some absolute dingers from center field? Carlos Beltran for 2%.
Shit, I think you got me. I don't know that Gehrig ever played left. I think he did, and as a result, I'm going to take him.
GEH.
His name. GEH. There we go. 0.4%. I still think you got me beat.
Back in the day, everybody played every position, I guess. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Final square, only one team, right field. Let's see. Who can I select for that square?
DiMaggio, right?
DiMaggio probably fits. I think both DiMaggios probably fit because I think Dom only played for Boston.
Your boy Carl.
Carl Yaz. Yeah. Rarity score of 20.
Oh, my goodness.
Another W. That one was probably not rare at all. No, it was. Just the collective, percentages. But yes, so 2 in a row.
Ryan gets another dub.
2 in a row for me. There we go. Woohoo. That's what a winning grid looks like right there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's scroll over and look at the summaries here real quick. Show who was the most.
So fortunately, I didn't take the most obvious bottom right one, which was Ichiro Suzuki. So there's that. At least I got away with that one.
Yeah, and I used Willie Mays in right field. Like I said, I wanted to avoid him in center. But yeah, Mickey Mantle, a known center fielder, and Carl Yaz was the most common in left. It's an interesting group. Ken Griffey Jr., of course, very common. But yeah, that 10%er hurt you today.
Ryan,
average score was 7.1 squares filled out of over 42,000 grids. So, yep, a W is a W.
It doesn't matter if you win by an inch or by a mile. A win is a win.
Yes, it is.
Moving on to Pickle. Yesterday we got this in, what was it, 3 guesses or something like that?
No, Monday we got it on the first try. Remember, I guess Pete
Oh yeah,
Alonso in
Pete
honor for the
Alonso.
home run derby.
So we will use Pete Alonso because it's the last time you guys saw us live as our starting. So he's either in the AL East or the NL West or Central.
Yep.
He is within 2 years of the age 29, and he's righty. Not born in the U.S.
Not in the U.S. Yeah, and he doesn't play first base. So, So let's see.
I'm going to go Aaron Judge to see if it is the AL East or not.
Whoa. You're not going to do anything.
What?
That's a terrible guess. I'm not going to do that. What does that clear?
If it's a Yankee or if it's in the AL East?
Nah, screw that. We can pick somebody.
And even possibly the age?
No, it doesn't clear the
age. And
the
position?
It doesn't clear the age. Do the math, please.
It'll tell us whether it's older than 28 or not.
How about we at least pick somebody not from the U.S.?
Oswaldo Cabrera. How old is he? No.
Do Nestor Cortez.
I must be spelling his name wrong. Surprise there.
I think it's Nestor.
It is the Yankees. He's still within 2 years of 29. It's not a starting pitcher.
And it's not Cuban either. So it's a Yankee. Is it Torre? No, not Torres. Glaber? No, Glaber. I think Glaber's American, maybe. No, Venezuelan.
Oh, yeah, that's probably what it is. It is Glaber. Yeah. Yep. There you go. Too easy. Too easy. So, yeah, no kidding, right? So Glaber Torres is your pickle winner. Thanks for joining us here watching that. Thank you, MLB, for throwing these games together so Ryan and I can do a show with them. We appreciate that. Scotto, we appreciate you for the intro music. We also appreciate all the people who have recently subscribed to our YouTube channel. And, let's move on.
Yeah, so we got the standing update. Bill's going to pull that up shortly. And, yeah, post All-Star break, the Phillies had a heartbreaker yesterday. That was painful for those who bet on the Phillies and for those who, just to enjoy watching the Phillies. That was a heartbreaker. Jose Alvarado needs to figure this out.
Yeah, well, I mean, it puts into perspective what the Phillies are lacking, extra bullpen arms. You can't keep going to the well to the same 3 guys. They'll get worn out. So I have the standings pulled up. Let me start presenting them because I didn't actually have them pulled up a moment ago. Share. And here we are, MLB standings. We'll just go right down the list. No reason to bounce back and forth. Guardians and Orioles and Yankees all have 59 wins. The Guardians, again, still continuing to impress with a plus 92 run differential. And it looks like they're starting to pull away in that division as well. The Royals kind of fell off. The Twins are starting to play decent ball, but still 5 games back. And then obviously the Orioles and Yankees are running away with their division, but the Red Sox are 5.5 games back on the Orioles there.
Yeah, Red Sox have made a push, but Timothy Montgomery, one of the guys that we play Dynasty with quite a bit, messaged me this morning, and he was complaining how unfair the remainder of the schedule is for the Red Sox, and I couldn't help but laugh. I feel like in a sport where the schedule is as long as baseball and when every team plays everybody, you can't really complain about fairness of the schedule. I think
I would agree with that.
Becomes a very invalid argument.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement, yes.
Yeah.
Then in the AL West, you got the Astros leading by a technicality. The Mariners actually have more games won. The Rangers are starting to play better ball, 7-3 in their last 10. Their run differential is not very good, though, obviously, at +1. But the Astros, we were questioning earlier in the year if they could come back and take the division, and here they are in first place.
Yeah, I think it's a combination. Well, first off, the Astros obviously are scorching hot, but I think it's a combination of the Mariners have kind of fallen apart here a little bit. Over the last month or so, the pitching, pitching's still been solid, but the fact that they just they can't hit the ball. They're not a good offensive team. They just don't have the bats to sustain, and Houston's kind of figured it out. They've pitched a lot better over the last couple months of the season, and they got a lot of seasoned vets on that team. So I still think if the Mariners make a move, it could be an interesting finale down the stretch. But until they do something.
Yeah. All right. And then, you move over to the NL, where the Phillies still have the best record in baseball, even after dropping that heartbreaker yesterday, 62-35, plus 109 run differential, which is still the best in baseball. But only up 8 games on the Braves. The Braves have maintained. So, the trade deadline is going to be huge. If the Phillies can add somebody, if the Braves add somebody, it could turn into an interesting there in the NL East.
Yeah, and the Mets are kind of hanging around 500. We didn't think they would compete with either the Braves or the Phillies going into the regular season. We thought they'd be kind of a third tier, with the Washington Nationals and the Miami Marlins. And the Marlins are in their own tier at this point. They're just embarrassingly awful. But yeah, the Mets are kind of hanging around 500. I know they had a push there for a while going into the All-Star break. Ultimately, I don't think they're a good enough team to really compete for a World Series. But one thing we've learned as Phillies fans the last couple of years, just get in and anything can happen. So, and then being in position for a wild card spot.
That is correct. Yeah, they are 1, 2, 3. They are 4th in the wild card standings right now for the NL.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 5th if you include the Braves. Sorry. So if they continue to play well, they obviously have a shot to get into the postseason. Yeah, and as you already said, the Phillies know firsthand, just get in. Then you got the Milwaukee Brewers at 55-42, the Cardinals at 50-46, and the Pirates only a half game out of the wild card race. They're at 49-48. That's who the Phillies dropped a heartbreaker to last night. The still very electric Cincinnati Reds, even though they aren't winning as many games as they'd like to be doing, they're still fun to watch. 47-51. And then you go to NL West. Actually, that whole division's really close. Only 9 games separate the last place team Cubs and the first place team Brewers.
And interestingly enough, the Cincinnati Reds have a positive run differential, so sounds like they might be the suitors of some bad luck.
Mm-hmm.
Based on their run differential, their expected win-loss is supposed to be 53-45. Instead, they're 47-51.
Yeah. I like that expected win-loss thing. I miss that every other week. I like that. Anyway, so to round out the NL, you got the Dodgers at 57-41, the Diamondbacks at 50-48, the Padres at 500, the Giants at 47-51, and then the Rockies and Marlins are fighting for that first overall pick.
Well, I think the White Sox are going to win that one.
Oh, yes. Yes, in fact, they are. Wow, 27-72. Minus 183 run differential.
That's awful.
That is a whole other level of bad. I mean, the Marlins are minus 150, 165.
Their run differential is further in the negative than the best team has in the positive.
Wow, that is astonishing.
That's really, really bad.
That is really, really bad. All right, so let's move on.
Yep. NL East is pretty straightforward. Kind of going how we predicted, but not really so.
The screen was bright.
Timothy Brandt asks, is the Cruz on the Pirates related to Ellie? I'm assuming he's asking about O'Neill Cruz and Ellie De La Cruz. I don't think so. No,
I don't think so either.
Actually, that's a good question. Because now that I sit here and say that, I think he is.
Well, no, because De La Cruz is the full last name.
Is it?
Yeah, so O'Neill Cruz wouldn't be. However, I know that the De La Cruz in the Phillies minor leagues system is related to Ellie. Yeah. I don't know if the guy from the Marlins is related though. So
talking about Brian De La Cruz?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, well there you go.
Yeah. I guess they're all brothers. Brian, the dude in the Phillies farm system, and Ellie.
We whipped through that standings update.
Yep. There you go. So we got to ask some questions here. Luis Arraez. I was watching TV the other day. I saw a very interesting topic about Luis Arraez. If he wins another batting title for the 3rd year in a row, is he on a Hall of Fame path?
See, here's the thing. I don't want to say yes, but I also don't want to say no. And here's why I don't want to say yes, is because of how difficult it actually is to get into the Hall of Fame. We know players who have many, 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 many more home runs, have hit 300 for many more years, who aren't in the Hall of Fame. And then you've got Luis Arraez, who is not a power contact guy. He is just a get on base kind of guy. And when you try to compare him to others that were like that in the Hall of Fame, like the Ichiro Suzuki's and stuff like that, like, do you think Arraez is as good as Ichiro Suzuki? Like, so I'm going to say if he wins another batting title, it definitely obviously helps his chances. But no, I don't see a Hall of Fame bound Luis Arraez. Let's keep in mind, while he was hitting 300 for the Twins for a while there, he didn't really emerge till the last few years, right? Like, he's not a young guy.
So Luis Arraez is 27 years old, just turned 27 earlier this year. It's not terribly old either. Has hit 300 in every single season that he's been in the majors, except for 2021. He hit 294, led the league in average in 2022 at 316, led the league in average in 2023, hitting 354. Has been a top 15 MVP candidate back-to-back years. The All-Star game, including this year, 3 years in a row, Silver Slugger at second base. He's slowly making the transition move over to first base. Nonetheless, with the career numbers that he has, right, we're looking at about 771 hits in just under 2,400 at-bats, which gives his career batting average a 323. Only 26 home runs, though, and an OPS plus of 119 for his career. I think if he continues to win batting title after batting title, there's a shot. However, I think him playing in this current era where, batting average is looked at as in a way that doesn't really matter, I think that's kind of what skews his chances, right? If he was doing this 20 years ago, I think he's a surefire Hall of Famer, just like Ichiro Suzuki. But
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I don't. Even with just one more batting title, I don't see like a clear path to the Hall of Fame. I think he has to keep consistently doing that because that really is the only trick he has in his bag. Not a lot of power, 26 home runs. Dudes have hit the Gunnar Henderson hit that before the All-Star break this season. So
yeah,
and that's all he has in his career. So, but yeah, I think there's a chance if he just keeps up this kind of production, right? If he finishes his career, plays another 10 years and hits 323 for his career, I think that there's a shot there. But one more batting title, I don't think so.
Cool. You want to add the one banner I was talking about when we're done, Skenes?
Yeah. So Paul Skenes, obviously the talk of the MLB. We got to ask the question, do you think the Pirates should limit Paul Skenes' innings? Now, as we mentioned before we got to this segment, the Pirates are a half game out of the wild card spot. So they're obviously in contention to make a playoff push. Paul Skenes and Jared Jones have been fantastic for them this year. Do you think they should limit Paul Skenes' innings this year?
Yeah, because it's not about this year. You're not a realistic World Series contender, and you don't want what happened to Steven Strasburg to happen to Paul Skenes, right? So yes, for me, I'm limiting his innings.
What are you limiting them to?
So what's he at right now? 111 innings, right?
So currently between the AAA and the majors this season, he is at 93 and 2/3 innings.
175. That'll get you through the rest of the season without hurting his arm. So if you send him, you want to continue sending him out every fifth day, I'm totally cool with that. But be prepared, regardless of pitch count, to pull him after the fifth or sixth inning every single time. Because again, it's not about this year for the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's just not. So I'm think about the future. You've got a young team, and you're proving that you are a talented young team. Think about the future for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and Paul Skenes has to be there. So I'm limiting his innings to like 175.
Timothy Brandt, if they're pushing for a playoff spot, I'm not limiting him. So it's very interesting that you picked the number 175. And I say that because currently this is his stats on the season as far as games started and innings pitched. So in AAA, he started 7 games, 27 1/3 innings. In the majors so far this year, 11 games started, 66 1/3 innings pitched. So basically 6 innings every start. On pace, given how many games the Pirates have left in the season, if you take that number, divide it by 5, he's got about 13 scheduled starts left in the majors this season. And if you take his average of 6 innings per outing, times it by 13, and add it to the total that he's already pitched, he is on pace between AAA and the majors for 171 and 2/3 innings this year. And you don't even really have to limit him. You just let him
continue doing what you're doing. Okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah. So in the MLB this year, with this projection, he would have 24 games started, 144 innings pitched. And like I said, throughout the whole season, including AAA, he'd be at 31 games started, 171 and 2/3 innings pitched. Yeah, I think they're just on a good pace. I think that's kind of where you stay. I'm not a big fan of consistently limiting somebody's innings. I feel like that you need to stretch pitchers out for them to, condition their bodies to be able to sustain workloads. And it's not even about, the one season of sustaining workloads anymore. It's about being able to sustain a workload over your whole career, right? So rest every once in a while. I can understand it, maybe push a start back an extra day, or, pull them after, 90 pitches or whatever after, a couple starts in a row. But I'm not a huge fan of like shutting guys down at the end of the season, or, this person should only pitch 150 innings. We really have to be careful. I don't think that's going to set anybody else up. I don't think that's going to set anybody up for success in the long run. I think that it's important that young players go out there and pitch and stretch out and condition their arms just like they did 20, 30 years ago. There was no real such thing as a pitch count. There was also very rarely any Tommy John injuries. It's really hard to throw 100 pitches throughout the week and then ask somebody to go out and throw 100 pitches in one day. Eventually your arm's going to give out because you're just not used to it.
That's true. That's true. Fair enough.
Tim Brandt says Tommy John is such a normal operation now for some reason. Yes, they are out for a year, but still Tommy John, I mean, some dudes are out, 18, 20 months. It's still not even just a year. It's guys are out. Shane Bieber tore his UCL back in May, I think it was, and he's already, listed as out for all of next season. So
yeah, DeGrom tore his early in the year last year, still hasn't returned yet.
Yeah, it keeps you out for more than a year. And granted, 18 months a year may sound semantic, but, depending on when it happens, you're missing, a full season, maybe 2.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, what was that last question you wanted to ask?
Likely trade targets and where they might be going.
Trade.
So as you guys, yeah. So the trade deadline is coming up the next few weeks. Obviously, we touched on it a little bit with the Philadelphia Phillies. A little bit of a weak spot here in recent weeks has been the back end of their bullpen outside of Trevor Hoffman. Sorry, not Trevor Hoffman. Baby. Not Trevor Hoffman. I am so sorry. Jeff Hoffman.
Man, you can't get anybody's name right the last couple weeks.
Yeah, I know, man. It's just terrible. So, yes. So potential trade individuals and where they might be going. Who do you have? Who are you watching, and where do you think they land?
Well, the Athletics have a couple of, quite a few pieces that they could potentially move, right? Obviously, with the franchise moving to Sacramento and then eventually Vegas in the next few years, they may be looking to sell off some of their players. Brent Rooker, obviously a big name, a big power bat that is, his name has swirled around with multiple different teams. You've got Mason Miller, obviously, who has 5 years of team control left. So he is not going to, despite just being a relief pitcher, he is not going to come with a cheap price tag. And then, of course, you've got Miguel Andujar, former Yankee, who's actually playing some pretty decent ball for the A's this year. He could potentially be on the move as well. You've got Tyler Anderson. You've got Tanner Scott, relief pitcher. There's quite a few names. I've even heard we saw yesterday Garrett Crochet. The White Sox are at least picking up the phone about it. So
yeah. And the only other person I can is Luis Robert.
I think the most likely to get. I think the most likely to get dealt is probably Brent Rooker.
Okay, and where do you think he lands?
Just based on skill set and need, I could see him going to New York. I could see him going to Philadelphia. If it's Seattle. Seattle for sure. Seattle desperately needs a bat, and they may have to pay up just a tad because you're trading inside the division at that point. I could also see Mason Miller being traded, but I think the team that suits him best is the Baltimore Orioles. I think they truly have enough firepower in the farm system to go get him. Because like I said, yes, he's just a relief pitcher. However, 25 years old, 5 years of team control left, obviously nasty stuff, would slide right into the back end of that bullpen with Craig Kimbrell, who has struggled at times again.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got Jackson Holliday in the farm system. They among a few other prospects as well, but they have Jackson Holliday that they could potentially turn around to the Oakland Athletics if they wanted Mason Miller bad enough.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So
no,
what would you do?
I agree.
What would you do if you're the Baltimore Orioles in that scenario? Would you trade Jackson Holliday for Mason Miller?
I mean, Jackson Holliday at the big league level didn't show you a lot, did he?
No, but he is only 21.
0.086, and I know he's only 21, and obviously we have like the family legacy, and he's a first-round pick, and all that good jazz. If you believe this year that this is your year, like you're going to the World Series, you're going to win the World Series, and you think, and I'm the Orioles, and I'm thinking, man, really all I need is one arm on the back end to get us to the promised land. It wouldn't be just Mason Miller. They'd have to give me something else. But yes, I would absolutely answer the phone for Jackson Holliday to the Athletics.
I absolutely would. To your point, I would probably listen. I might need a throw-in piece on the Mason Miller side as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Shortstop is a more premium position than relief pitcher closer. However, that is something I'm absolutely entertaining. I think, they have such a large window of opportunity, right? And with Jordan Westberg, they have middle infielders, right? They obviously have young guys that can go out there and ball right now and play the middle infield. Gunner, of course, like I said, Westberg. So I don't think middle infield, even long-term, is a concern for them. Mason Miller could be your closer for the next half a decade. And we've seen him have some really nasty stuff. That could be a problem that's absolutely solved. You could check that box if you're the Orioles, just like you went out and got Corbin Burns and checked that box that you needed an ace on your staff. I am entertaining that deal. I don't know what the throw-in piece would have to be, but I am entertaining a deal centered around Jackson Holliday and Mason Miller if I'm the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah, absolutely 100%. I would entertain the idea of it. Yeah.
Now, as a Phillies fan, Brent Rooker obviously been a big name going to them. They need a right-handed power bat to, substitute all the lefties. Nick Castellanos obviously having a down year again for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Realmuto being out for the last month and a half hasn't helped.
What are you giving up?
You and I had this conversation a little bit. Mick Abel absolutely would be on the block for Brent Rooker. You said his name earlier. I can't think of his name. I don't know. Also, I would say bye to Aiden Miller too, our most recent first round draft pick, who's tearing up the single and double A or single A, just got promoted to double A, third baseman. I'm a right-handed power bat puts the Phillies in a very, very unique situation where, at any point in the lineup, there's danger for an opposing pitcher. And they're almost there. But that center field position has not been productive for Philadelphia this year. It's not even a question of whether or not it's been semi-productive. It just hasn't. It's been useless. The 9th spot in the lineup right now is useless for the Philadelphia Phillies. It's almost like having a pitcher there again. So yeah, for me, I'm going out and again, center field, you move Brandon Marsh over to center, or you just let Rooker play center field regardless, but that turns that position into production. And I'm entertaining, again, Aiden Miller, Mick Abel. I could even see Andrew Painter if again, the Phillies are looking at this like our window is closing on the World Series, which it is. They're getting older. They're not getting younger. Some of these contracts are going away. This is the year. I'm entertaining some good young talent for Brent Rooker. And hey, maybe they find a way to get Mason Miller too. Maybe. But it would definitely cost them bigger prospecting names. Like I said, Aiden Miller, Mick Abel, Andrew Painter for sure.
Yeah, I would not entertain a Justin Crawford, Aiden Miller, Andrew Painter level prospect if it was just Brent Rooker. If there was Mason Miller involved in the deal, that's a different story. But I am not involving that level of prospect for Brent Rooker, seeing as Brent Rooker will be 30 years old later this year. So he's not exactly a young guy. However, he does have 3 more years of team control left at, arbitration level money. So nothing at all. Maybe they move off of Castellanos in the offseason. But to your point, for what it's worth, Brent Rooker's never played center field. So it would probably be the Marsh moving to center and Brent Rooker playing left, which defensively may kind of just be like having Kyle Schwarber out there. However, I would take the 21 home runs and the 291 batting average. Defense isn't nearly as important as it used to be with, just so much emphasis on offense in the MLB these days. But yes, that is I would entertain Mick Abel for that. Griff McGarry is another one that I would probably.
Griff McGarry, that was the name I couldn't think of. Thank you.
Yeah. However, some of these guys with showing no progression between the two of them, I think their window to deal them as a top, a higher level prospect.
It's going away. Yeah.
Very quickly. Mick Abel's somebody that I've been beating the drum for, not necessarily beating the drum for, but have mentioned that I would be open to trading him probably the last year and a half. The walks have been an issue with Mick Abel. I've never actually seen any development as far as his control goes. He always had the stuff, but he just never was able to rein it in. And I think that's kind of coming to fruition now, seeing as he's struggling to get out of Double-A. So, that's the level of prospect I would at least start with. If they wanted, Miller, Painter, Justin Crawford, that's a different conversation. I'd have to start opening the book to say, hey, what's Mason Miller's availability? But again, nobody's really off the table because, to your point, the Phillies are an aging team. They're not the Baltimore Orioles. They have, 31-year-old JT Realmuto, Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos, all in their 30s. I know Bryce Harper is going to be around a while, but he's also in his 30s. So Zach Wheeler's in his mid-30s. It's an aging
Your window
team.
is closing. Yeah. Your window for the Phillies is closing. And again, if I'm at the front office and I'm looking at it and you see that you're the best record in baseball, you have the best run differential in baseball, but you feel like you're missing 2 things right now, and I would agree we are missing 2 things right now. It's a strong power bat on the right side of the plate, and it's back-end help. And, I mean, the Athletics have what you're asking for sitting there just waiting for it. And those 2 guys came to Philly last week and lit the Phillies up. So, you got a first-hand account of what they could do. I'm picking up the phone. I really am.
Now, for what it's worth, I see this stuff all the time on X, regardless of sport. GMs are picking up the phone. All 30 GMs are on the phone with each other right now. Just because something may not get done does not mean that they didn't pick up the phone, that they didn't do anything, right? As a GM, it is tough in any sport to have to balance your future versus the present. What are my chances currently of winning, to the point of, should they limit Paul Skenes' innings this year? You said it's not about this year. Just because they may make a wild card spot, they're not an actual contender. That's something that they have to manage, because are they realistically a contender? It's the same thing as the trade deadline. Are you realistically going to win a World Series this year? Is this person realistically going to be worth mortgaging part of my future for? Because that's what happens every time you trade prospects. You are mortgaging your future for the present.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So the GMs are always on the phone. They're always busy. All 30 GMs will be on the phone this trade deadline season. Just because nothing gets done doesn't necessarily mean that they weren't on the phone or that they didn't do anything. It's a tough world to really analyze. Am I 1 piece? Am I 2 pieces away from being a World Series team?
Yeah, I would say the Phillies definitely are 2 pieces away from a guaranteed World Series. And again, power right bat and help in the bullpen.
I would never guarantee a World Series, but I would say that makes them the absolute front runners. And it would be, yes, that's something that they should consider, given the state of their team. They should consider making that push now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, good topic. I like it.
Yeah, that was a great topic.
You got a 3 strikes for me today, or are we going to the bullpen?
I do not have 3 strikes for you today. I figured I'd take it easy on you because I'm beating up on you in Immaculate Grid last couple weeks.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
I mean, I can't say beating up on you today, but like you said, winning's winning. So that was a good one. That was that we tied one time. I think that grid right there was the closest one we had without a tie.
Correct. I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm calling to the bullpen.
Yeah, that's going to do it for us here on B.S.ing Sports, part of the B.S.ing Network, where we do a little BS and we talk a whole lot of sports. Thank you and have a great day.